Elon Musk is back at it. The Tesla CEO tweeting today, Tesla stock price is too high, IMO, in my opinion. And that tweet, no surprise, sank the stock and raised a lot of eyebrows. Let's get to Phil LeBeau with the fallout. Phil, and you got to wonder if the eyebrows over at the SEC are raised right now.
Well, we reached out to them, and they declined to comment today. They rarely comment immediately after something like this happens if there is an issue. So they could come back down the road and say something. But again, let's take a look at that tweet. And when it was sent out, I think it was like 11 a.m., somewhere around there. Shortly after that, the stock tanked. He wrote, Tesla stock price is too high, IMO, in my opinion. And that made people say, well, geez, how much market cap have you wiped out? My producer, Megan Reeder, did a calculation here. Wiped out about $13 billion worth of market capitalization. Tesla itself is not commenting on the tweet from Elon Musk. So there were a lot of people earlier in the day, Melissa, who were saying, well, clearly his Twitter account was hacked. Look, if it was hacked, we would have heard about it from Elon Musk and Tesla. By the way, Musk and the SEC, remember back in 2018, they reached a settlement regarding his tweets, any financial communications. They are supposed to be approved by a committee at Tesla. But there's broad interpretation there in terms of what's a financial communication and what he can or cannot say. So, guys, again, I think everybody is looking at this and they're saying, why did he say this? And we still have no answers.
I think that if there's any question as to whether or not this is a financial communication, I mean, I think you're nuts, right? I mean, he's saying that the stock is priced too high at that point. I mean, putting aside all the tweets that he sent surrounding this tweet and after this tweet about selling all his possessions and, you know, this
there was
and that.
a slew of them.
That, whatever.
Star-Spangled Banner was in there, yeah.
He can say all that. That has no impact. If I'm a shareholder, I don't care. But if you're going to come out and say my stock that I own is too high, that's harm to the shareholders. And that specifically is what the SEC had issue with the first time around when they had the settlement with him, right?
And that's why they were supposed to set up this committee that is in place, that is supposed to be the one that signs off on any of his financial communications. So more questions than answers, which is not surprising when it comes to what Elon Musk is tweeting out.
You got to leave it to Elon. Phil, thank you.
You bet.
Phil LeBeau in Chicago. Specifically, this is what the SEC said in their press release. The resolution is intended to prevent further market disruption and harm to Tesla's shareholders. That's according to the SEC release, September 29th, 2018. Harm to shareholders would seem to me to be down 10% on the back of a tweet. BK, what do you say?
Yeah, I think cabin fever seems to be getting to Elon Musk. I don't understand the upside here. You know, the SEC is generally trying to prevent people from pumping up their stock. I don't know, maybe he's being antagonistic, but there's no upside to this. And I think it does call into a little bit of question what's going on with him. And I wouldn't be a buyer of Tesla here.
Guy, what would you say?
I'd say the thing that I mean, other than the obvious, I didn't know he lived in Gene Wilder's house, and it got me thinking about my favorite Gene Wilder movies, which is clearly Young Frankenstein. Oh. What was yours?
Willy Wonka?
Yeah, Willy Wonka's no question. Willy Wonka's up there. I mean, if you know, we could run the whole thing if you want. We could finish the show with this. With that said, I mean, the board of directors, you have to sit the man down at some point and, you know, give a cease and desist. I mean, because his Twitter account. I mean, you should own Twitter just on the back of what Elon Musk is putting out there. It's priceless stuff. And then on Monday, if he says, you know what, it was too high on Friday, but it's perfect now, what happens then? I mean, I really just don't get it. Clearly, I don't get it.
Steve Grasso.
Yeah, I think BK brings up a really important point on this, that the SEC is usually involved or gets concerned when somebody pumps up their stock. So I don't know if they do anything in this scenario, but as Phil said, he lost $13 billion. The last time he got fined $40 million from the SEC. I don't think he cares. But to make it tradable, support in the stock is around the 650 level, and resistance is 767. That's the last place where they raise money. It's a trading vehicle right now.
It is ironic that the SEC would get in if somebody's pumping up the stock, but if somebody talks down the stock and that's actually causing harm and loss to shareholders, they may not even step in. I don't know. That's an aside.